Alex Answer here. It is July 21st in the year 2019. We have a couple interesting stories for you. We'll be talking about Area 51 in a few moments. First, we're going to be discussing this very interesting story regarding computer crashes. Now, this is interesting because I have a new computer, well, newish. I got a few months ago, and what I purchased in 2016 and the way that it performed was much better than the lag that I'm experiencing now. Is it the manufacturer? You're right, made in China, or is there something else going on with the cosmic rays? Now, before you laugh, I want you to check out this headline. This is from Computer World. And if you Google this, you're going to find a number of different reports. They have found a connection between this energy that's coming in and something that can disrupt computers. Now, before you freak out, think about it. Think about the concerns that we have about other things, technology surpassing our humanity. Think about the other conversations that we've had. Now, cosmic rays are in abundance during solar minimums. Okay, so when we don't have sunspots and we're in the low part of the solar cycle, there's an increase in cosmic rays, which increases miscarriages. According to the research of Maurice Cotterell, there are also spikes in cancer. And I think that maybe certain elevations, certain places on the planet, they have increases in cancer rates, places like Colorado, especially certain parts of the state. And I believe that there is a direct correlation with cosmic rays. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. When your computer crashes or phone freezes, don't be so quick to blame the manufacturer. Cosmic rays, or rather the electrically charged particles they generate, may be your real foe. While harmless to living organisms, a small number of these particles have enough energy to interfere with the operation of the microelectronic circuitry in our personal devices. It's called a single event upset, or a SEU. During such an event, particles alter an individual bit of data stored in a chip's memory. Consequences can be as trivial as altering a single pixel in a photograph, or as serious as bringing down a passenger jet. An SEU was also blamed for an electronic voting error in Belgium. SEUs are still fairly rare events, but as the number of transistors being used in new electronic systems increases, so does the probability of an SEU failure. Semiconductor manufacturers seem to have caught onto the trend and are working to diminish the interference of cosmic rays. For instance, in 2008, Fujitsu engineers climbed a Hawaiian volcano to better understand how cosmic rays cause computer errors. I mean, the main thing that we can comment on, first of all, how are we affected? Second of all, like, this is major implications with regards to voting. And we are in a deep solar minimum. We will continue to be in a deep solar minimum, going deeper into it in 2020. Starting to come out of it in the years after, 2021, 2022, with unexpected solar peak, solar maximum, the peak part of the cycle coming up in 2025. Now, we spoke in a previous video. Let me just, bring this to your attention, and you can take a look on your own. Cosmic rays offer clue that our universe could be a computer simulation. And so we look at the effects of the sun and the cosmic rays, both coming in at two different parts of this cycle. And I see it as a natural balance, a yin and a yang, if you will. But we live today dependent on technology, dependent on things that our ancestors were not dependent on. And now this technology is literally pointing weapons at us. See, the people are being taught to fear these changes coming from the cosmos. And I'm here to tell you, I think something else is going on than what you're reading about. Let's go over some of the basics of this and then get into this PSYOPs called the plan to storm Area 51. Okay, so the idea that we might be living in an artificial reality like the Matrix has been a reoccurring philosophical hypothesis for centuries, actually thousands of years, and worldwide. If recent measurements of cosmic ray particles are correct, then we may have the first evidence that the universe as we know it is really a giant simulation. Humans have explored the laws of our universe for many years now, and it's not uncommon to hear people talk about how amazing it is that certain fundamental values are just right for life to exist. Some people have wondered if that's because the whole universe is actually some kind of sandbox simulation, and we're merely characters in some sort of cosmic game of The Sims. If that's true, then there should be a point to where we start to bump up against the edges of the simulation, like The Truman Show. And the idea that we might be living in an artificial reality constructed by something higher than ourselves has been a reoccurring philosophical hypothesis for centuries. Plato's allegory of the cave and many other stories are all variants of this idea, a philosophical idea that says it's impossible to know with any certainty whether the world as we experience it is real or a simulation projected by some external entity. So I don't think that we are here by accident. How exactly, right, they have done this, I'm not sure. But since this article came out, there's been many people, increasingly so in our world, asking if our world is a simulation. And I would say that that question is more deeply served when we examine our own morality, our own focus in this life, in this lifetime, as we ask ourselves if we are truly on the right path. So as we deal with these cosmic rays that come in, as we deal with these solar flares, as we deal with these other effects on our field, as we wake up to the reality that we are all connected to this morphogenetic field through the magnetite in our brain cells, right? Then that aha moment can go off above our head, and we can transcend fear and understand that these forces of nature are really here to help us. And technology surpassing our humanity is never a good thing. So as we look at Area 51, okay, so before I even get into even reading the stories, the very fact that we hear about this type of a plan, that this is even going on, raises questions about a psychological operation. Because we live in the world of the controlled algorithm, for example. And so if certain things catch fire, if you will, sure, certain things are going to be organic. And then certain things the algorithm can push. And so this has all been allegedly started by a college kid who is now, quote, terrified about what he started because most people are informed of how the government would actually respond to any plans to storm its facilities. I have some more thoughts. Before we get to them, let's take a look at this report. Okay, this is an image, by the way, of Area 51. The Air Force has warned people against participating in this internet joke, suggesting a large crowd of people storm Area 51, a prank event on Facebook that attracted more... Facebook, there you go. It attracted more than 1 million interested people in suggesting that a mass of people run into the mysterious site at 3 a.m. on September 20th. Okay, so this joke was lining something up in proximity to a full moon, the equinox, a high energy period, 3 a.m., the witching hour. Facebook, that's not by accident. Somebody working at Facebook can push a button and make sure the algorithm pushes that news and other news about it to the front of people's feeds. And a lot of people that are into certain things aren't super intelligent. They may be interested in certain things. They may not know that they're being set up. And so just having an interest in conspiracy theories is not being fully awake. They try to lead people in certain directions and in some cases to take action. Why would they want to push something in the algorithm to get people to take action? Is this a part of a wave of ongoing PSYOPs to direct people into action? Have we seen a cascade of these types of PSYOPs or trial runs, test runs? Going back to the article. The Facebook event jokes, they can't stop all of us. Let's see them aliens. The site is part of the vast Nevada test and training range and has become the center of UFO conspiracy theories. So, you know the main thing that I'm going to bring to your attention right away? Okay, so they test weapons of war here, and I, am reading this article for the first time with you. Of course, it confirms that. And so how many people have passed since the event that led to these wars? People that, even according to the official story, had nothing to do with it. Why am I bringing this up? Here's the point. Before the event that led to these wars, at facilities like this, they've tested weapons that they're now using on them and drones. Where's the national outrage regarding that? Instead, we live in a McDonald's, Pee Wee Herman McDonald's reality where people gravitate to memes, algorithms, where millions of eyeballs will literally be on something and they won't even realize that someone is taking them for a ride. And it isn't a good situation. Now, there's this thing, this report from Popular Mechanics, and it asks the question, where is Area 51? So just out of curiosity, I'll take a look at some of the things that the mainstream is putting out about Area 51. It describes it as a place that has represented the eye of a conspiratorial hurricane that swirls around, quote, evidence that aliens and their technology exist and are hiding behind its walls. While aliens are not taking up residence in the compound, what is going on there is just as interesting. Now, there are other facilities, which I'm sure you've heard of, in New Mexico and others, in which there's been a certain amount of allegations about what's really going on there. The biggest mistake modern ufology has made is separating foreign policy. I mean, they admit that they test weapons there. How do people not see the alien agenda in a massive death toll is beyond me. I shake my head at the so-called searchers for truth in today's ufology that are looking away from overseas occupations. I mean, there's a direct correlation. They've been testing aircraft and weapons, perhaps even bioweapons to use on certain people. They've worked on various things at these labs. These are very serious matters. And so, you know, the national dialogue could really impress you and me right now. The national dialogue could like take a detour and go, what have they actually been doing at these facilities for years and years and years? And how moral is that? Have you ever seen a movement of people saying, hey, let's storm the place, to where they use drones from little air-conditioned warehouses outside of Vegas, and they blow human beings that actually came from a woman that actually had to, carry that child for 9 months into a million pieces? Is there any talk of even sign holding? Please stop the drones. Maybe a small crowd of 5 to 10. I'm talking about here in the United States. I'm not talking about the modern fisticuffs in Portland, Oregon. It's actually pronounced Oregon. And so, yeah, those are my thoughts. Were you expecting anything different from Alex Ansary? Right? So here we have a place to where, they admit, yeah, we've been testing some crazy stuff there for some time. And now crazy stuff's happening in the world. And yet we see, though, the fake news algorithm go, yeah. Let's go ahead and encourage this type of a joke. Because I'll tell you what, Facebook has the ability to prevent certain types of flash mobs if they wanted to. So let's reel it back. Let's pull it back. How do we know that these aren't trial runs or test runs to get people to act out? Now this may seem kind of funny, but it's actually kind of scary, because I've been talking about the potential of other types of flash mobs that are based in other things. And we're talking about after 5G. I want to thank the new Patreon for joining and he aired his concerns about 5G. One day people are going to literally flee the cities because of 5G. And I think that is going to be the case for some people. Others, they might go like deeper into the trance and become what we might call the sleeper agents. It's like some people talk about like the super soldiers. Then there's like the people in like mass consciousness society, and they're being hit with subliminal after subliminal after subliminal. It's like there is a collective of an element of our society that's waiting in the wings for the trigger words to be released. Of course, if you're going to tune in to a channel like this, it's going to be outside the box of the ordinary. And so, as we come across these reports about, UFOs being seen blasted by the sun, and we ask ourselves, what in the hell just happened? And also really odd timing with regards to what's going on. Probably the best conclusion to this is that there are forces going on in this world that are beyond our understanding. And I think that it does not serve us to think that everything is a conspiracy and that nothing is worth researching in the cosmos and in our reality. Okay, because they don't want us truly asking the big questions. They will actually manufacture PSYOPs that will tell us that nothing is real in this reality, so we stop looking. But there is a purpose in looking for answers, and we may not have the answers at the moment in which we start looking, but it's a matter of waiting. It's a matter of doing the work that we need to do to see reality as it is. Now, if you want to support this channel, I welcome you to do so. I will be continuing to discuss the solar sciences. I also get into other content on video. It's never a podcast. It's always a video over at outsidethebox.vhx.tv. You get immediate updates, when I send it out. So I upload a video once every few days, and then I send out an update, and then the people are notified. So we're seeing an uptick in viewership at outsidethebox.vhx.tv. Please join today. In addition, I continue to discuss going beyond the left-right paradigm and other free flows beyond like the core solar sciences focus here on the YouTube channel over at my Patreon. It's really easy for me to record a podcast and to upload it immediately. I'm also involving myself in day labor at present to make basic ends meet. So if you want to support this platform, those are the ways in which you can do it. There's also a PayPal link down below. I'm Alex Ansary, and we'll talk to you next time.